warded up by OMG, though.
Yeah, OMG's going to see this, and I wonder if they're going to collapse back. They actually haven't committed to any lanes yet. Now Zyra and Corki are going up top. Loveland might try and steal this away. Whoever gets this buff steal is going to put significantly far ahead in the early game.
Oh, Tabby going around the corner there. He's going to get stunned up by Counter-Strike, but we can see that Lucky has been able to take that blue buff away. We could probably expect pressure now coming down onto Royal's blue, surely.
Yeah, I'd actually expect a race to that blue buff, and since Royal has their AD carry support in the bottom lane, it is an uncontestable blue buff as far as Royal is concerned. Loveland's going to get that. It's actually only going to be about a 15-second delay for Loveland when all is said and done, and he should be able to recover.
Getting a bit of help there from Big Pomelo. Him down from that top lane. So let's talk about the lanes here as the junglers get back on their way, on their paths. It's going to be 2v1 in this top side of things with the Zyra Corki taking on Renekton. Bottom side, a similar thing with Uzi and Tabe on Caitlyn and Annie taking on GoGoing's Jax.
Yeah, and I really want to see if we're going to get the 3v1 dives in this game, but because of the way the junglers started, the dive would at the very least be delayed here. Knowing GoGoing knows that Lucky started as blue, so he'd have to go all the way to red and then all the way back to get him. And also, since Loveland started at the enemy blue, his gank path would be delayed as well. So we're actually just seeing very standard 2v1 tower pushes and junglers coming to defensively support. It's not that common that we see this in Royal OMG games.
Well, speaking of coming to support, Lucky going up towards his top lane here. And making sure that Godlike, you see a statistic there at Renekton, 75% of the with a win ratio with that one, and has been an incredibly hotly contested pick over in China, that's for sure. Lovely now coming down to the bottom lane to do, well, to pretty much mirror what Lucky's doing in the top side.
And I think a lot of the importance of Renekton in these matchups, actually, they're going right in.
They're going straight in on towards Tabe. He's going to have to flash, puts down the stun as well. Lovely flashes in though. He's going to get Tabe very low. Finishes off there. First blood going over. Meanwhile, White so incredibly low in that mid lane. Manages to survive up for now. Uzi survived in the bottom lane as well, but OMG draw first blood.
That's just Royal not respecting the Jax. GoGoing got early experience from the jungle, was getting experience at his turret, and then all he had to do was charge up his Counter-Strike and go in.
Oh, they're going in for Cool here as well, who does have a flash available. He's going to flash away from the flag and drag there and manages to stay safe, but no flash available for him. He's still level 4 as well. He's going to be a target.
Yeah, like we said, fast ganks all around. We're trying to talk about the bottom lane gank when the mid lane gank happens, but all said and done, OMG absolutely comes out atop that trade because they could combo Jax's stun with Lee Sin's resonating strike and guarantee the kill on a Tabe. It's one of the reasons I'm surprised that Royal is doing the 2v1 in the bottom lane. Annie would do better to get back if she's trying to push up mid lane and work on dives and stuns there because the lane is shorter and he would be able to make the retreat. It is very dangerous for them to 1v2 against the Jax Lee Sin because that very thing can happen to them and give them kills.
The fact is, if you look with Jax, I've got himself that Vamp Scepter, Crystalline Flask, plus some potions as well. It's not really that easy to push out of the lane. We'll see how that one all develops. Finally, OMG putting down a bit of damage onto this top tower. Not quite as much as Royal have done in that bottom side, but that first blood coming in there is probably going to make them very, very scared of being pushed that far again.
It's going to absolutely stop the aggression from that Royal lane, unless they continue to disrespect the Jax in that lane. But once he's gotten a whole bunch of levels, they can barely even 1v2 against that Jax. Jax is going to become an absolute monster against that Annie Caitlyn lane.
You can see that he's freezing up this lane nice. He doesn't want to be pushing it all the way back and make it a bit easier for Uzi and Tabe to be farming there. And it's mid lane. Being quite explosive already so far. We've seen flashes burnt from Cool, the ghost used by Whites earlier on. As Lucky, you're going to get caught out a little bit by Loveland in the jungle. Both at level 4 though. Not too much danger of them really going in for a full-on fight there.
No, especially if the mid laners aren't going to come over and contest. Loveland getting a little cheeky with those wards, but once again, he has no fear of Vladimir collapsing down to stop him because its threat is so minimal when compared to Cool coming down, who can add an Ahri charm and actually catch him out of position.
Yeah, Whites is up at level 6 now though, so that Hemo Plague that we should factor in. Meanwhile, Lucky coming down towards this bottom lane, and he's just going to go once again full on pressure. Lee Sin is waiting on the backside. We'll see if Royal can take the first turret of the game here.
So this is a little bit more of a respectful push because they at least have a third person there, meaning if Go-Going jumps in, they would generally be able to turn it around, and Royal has vision on the other 3 members of OMG. This is them trying to re-siege that turret, knowing that Godlike's Renekton has held his turret better than Go-Going has overall.
Oh, let's have a look down some of the early CS here. And 280 carries obviously in the 2v1 lane. Pretty close there. Uzi at the moment just got a little bit of a lead from that one. Mid laners Vladimir White's playing that one up against Cool's. Ahri also ahead as we are going to see the stun coming down to Go-Going and Lovelin taking a lot of damage there. This could open up that tower finally. Yeah,
they are taking a lot of harassing here there, and it does seem like the next wave could do something as well as maybe more for Royal. As we were talking about earlier, one of the big reasons Renekton is such a contested pick in the Chinese metagame is because the early and mid-game pushes they make. They don't care if Renekton doesn't have great late-game skill because he can do this.
Here we go, gonna go in there. The Counter-Strike actually going to stun at one, but it's Go-Going. He's not gonna escape this one. Getting stunned in there. The turret went down. They picked up the kill, and Godlike moving down through the map there, undetected as they dive onto that bottom lane.
Yeah, he was... See, that is earlier than you would normally see a Renekton roam, and you're thinking, why would a Renekton leave his turret against a Corki and Azar? Is just going to die. World doesn't care because this is effectively an exchange of turret and kill and dragon for just a turret, and they're willing to make that exchange.
And the blue buff as well as Cool here, going to go in towards White. The Ignite already ticking there. Is a charge in there. White saved his pull till the very last second, didn't have to burn his flash. But either way, Cool's removed any kind of threat now from that mid lane as OMG take the dragon.
Yeah,
sorry, it's Royal.
Now where's OMG going to go from here? They just burned their Ahri ultimate in mid lane. Corki and Zyra have pushed down their turret, but there is no dragon to get for Cool's advantage over White's. I mean, so far in that middle lane, Vladimir, who is a pretty good laner early on, but I don't think quite Ahri level, has done enough work to outfarm Cool. I think that was in part because of Lucky's early gank, but it still should be noted that White's is trying to farm up only so he can become a split push threat. He's going for that, what looks like Spirit of the Spectral Wraith split push build because his summoner spells absolutely show he's doing that, knowing Keyblot, Flash, and Ghost on Flash.
So, where are we going to see this one develop? The duos have now gone into that mid lane, as we may have thought maybe came in a little bit earlier on. We'll see Ahri and Vladimir facing off once again on this top side of the map, and we'll see how Whites does now that he's built up a lot. There's a Hemo play going down. We can see how much damage is coming in, but there is Lovelin. He doesn't have that pull. Look at the damage though. Cool going so low, but he's managed to walk away from it. Whites gets kicked back and executed by Lovelin.
Nearly enough burst for Whites, but at the end of the day, it was an overcommit, using his pool aggressively to try to finish off Cool, and Lovelin, like a wizard, is always there at the right spot.
Now Jarvan coming back to this mid lane. See if they're actually able to put that pressure back down. Going to be harder against the Corki, and more importantly, probably that Zyra as well, who can catch you off guard in just the split second. There is Lovelin. Getting himself a nice bit of farming experience and pushing out that top lane as well. He's now 2-0-0 with his Lee Sin.
And we'll see if he can start taking over the game. I remember his Moby Bear from the group stage who got a couple of early kills. Absolutely stomped all over the game. Lee Sin could do something similar. You can see with that extremely early Sightstone, he's going to try and shut down Royal's roam because Royal loves to roam early on, and that is typically how they beat OMG. We already saw Godlike roam all the way from the top lane to the bottom lane to create Royal's first bit of advantage, which is why they're still sitting on the 400 gold lead. And of course, Lovelin counters that with an early Sightstone. It gives OMG 2 Sightstones overall on the map and should work to control it for them.
It's that blue buff. Giving over actually to Uzi there for that mid lane.
It makes enough sense in this composition because they have the Renekton and Vladimir, who are typically 2 side laners. The blue buff isn't beneficial or that beneficial to any of them. Whereas Caitlyn can definitely run into some mana problems if she's using all of her spells on recharge, which Uzi's going to do now since Tabe and Caitlyn have transitioned to this mid lane for an extended siege.
And for between the two AD carries. CS is very, very even at this point. We can see that Bloodthirsts are almost done for Uzi. Oh, Cool might be in trouble from this one. He's going to be baited in here by White. There goes Shaman out of the brush, and there is the Cataclysm. But Cool still got a charm left. Got a charge left on his Spirit Rush to get out of there. Brilliantly avoided by Cool.
Right there, Royal was underestimating their damage. They knew that Cool was going to pop his ultimate to escape, and they tried to burst him down anyway. Lucky no longer has Cataclysm, but it does give them a bit of a turret edge right here if they can take this.
Should be able to finish this one off. See the minions actually going down pretty quickly, and they might have to wait until that next wave does come available to them. Meanwhile, Royal stacking themselves up here in this mid lane as Godlike going to get caught out, but will they go diving in onto him? No, they won't. Lee Sin waiting off to the side, but Lovelin decides against it.
And this is very interesting. OMG is sacrificing turret pressure for farm on Jax. Going has been freezing the bottom lane for the past minute or so, while Royal is mercilessly pushing this middle lane. They're about to dive as 5, and Jax is nowhere to be found here.
Oh, Big Pomelo actually going to throw down the Stranglethorns from this one, and we see them go a little bit low, but White's coming in from the backside. Ace in the hole comes through. Uzi picking up a snipe there onto Big Pomelo, but now White's caught out of position. There's the counter-strike, not going to get the stun as White
nice
but
shot.
Lovelin dives straight in there. He'll get back out towards the Warden. This is a difficult decision. Very, very low health bars across the board. Going goes low. He flashes back to safety. Now the focus is Lucky as they dive in on towards Sand. He's lower than half HP. Godlike flashes over towards him as well. He's going to try and chase down Sand here.
Fast enough?
He's not got much health remaining, and he will be able to pick up the kill. Meanwhile, in middle, the rest of them kind of just had a ceasefire, broke up that fight, but a crazy one.
Crazy to think there were only 2 deaths there, but of course they went to Royal because they had the advantage. They got the initiation onto Big Pomelo, and then it was all about chasing. Lovelin actually did a spectacular job landing his Q right as Whites came out of his pool of blood, but then the rest of this chase was just teams collapsing on each other. Flashes were saved to the last instant to get away from this fight, and then Ignites just weren't quite taking people down. Godlike arriving right at the end, and because specifically Godlike had upgraded to Ninja Tabi earlier on in the game and San had not, is why Godlike could chase him down here for the kill.
Brilliantly done from Royal. That gives them that advantage in the kills and the gold. Now they're putting down pressure onto this middle turret once again. White's just sidestepping that charm. He needs to be careful though. Grasping Roots have grabbed him. He has to pull up. That turret is still alive there. Royal not able to finish it off with that last push.
Yeah, and up on the bottom of the screen, Big Pomelo died once again. That was a little strange. He was just off on the side trying to ward. Jarvan caught him and they just bursted all their spells down on him. I really feel like OMG trying to freeze a lane for going is absolutely hurting them in the interim. They're definitely going for a late game Jax strategy because they recognize that Godlike is much stronger on his Renekton at this point in the game. It's actually very counterintuitive to their regular playstyles, knowing that these games are usually decided by 30 minutes on average.
Well, Dragon is now up and available. Royal have started it off. He's very, very low. They're going to smite it down. Lovelin has to flash away from that one. Meanwhile, Godlike at the front. He's falling low. Emo play going to go down. There's the first kill of the fight. As Cool will pick off Godlike. Whites gets in there. Kicked straight back out by Lee Sin. But look at the damage from the side. Here comes going. There's another kill. The double coming down for Cool. It's not over yet either as Lovelin picks one up. But look at Uzi at the back. He's still doing work. There's the triple for Cool. And now they're going to try and chase down the AD carry onto a trap. That was a little unlucky from Lovelin, and Uzi should be able to walk off from this one. Gets himself a bit of farm on the way out. Classy.
That was still an absolutely insane turn by OMG. They get a 4-kill fight, even if Royal got the Dragon. That was actually a power play attempt by Royal to get that Dragon, but OMG just collapsed in and had a brilliant team fight. Maybe they get this turret afterwards.
Oh, it's gone very low. Only Uzi is there to hold this one off. Minions start to stream their way into that mid lane, but they've provided enough time here with those minions going down. Royal for that to be safe.
Yeah, so the fact that Ahri got 3 kills in that exchange means Cool is an absolute monster coming in. We have to see this fight again and figure out just how it happened. Tabe's stun got burned on Lovelin as he was escaping, which meant they didn't necessarily have it for the fight. And even though Royal landed a 4-man Hemo Plague, Uzi could never get in position to fight this one properly, and Godlike did not get off his Renekton ultimate because he died so early on. That is so core to Royal's mid-game team fighting strategy, is to have a Renekton in the fight for an extended period of time. Once he was gone, all OMG had to do was finish off Lucky, and they could just chase down the rest of the team.
6-4 in kills. Still, Royal Club hold that lead as Cool here. Going on towards Godlike. Gonna use that ultimate, but not quite enough to burst him down. He's got Meat Spirit, the Sunfire Cake finishes. White's here, gonna have to use that Ghost. Goes into the pool just before that Counter-Strike stuns him up, but they're gonna close in on him. This is bad news for Whites. He still has a flash available though. When's he gonna use it? There is the flash away. And with the rest of Royal coming around, they actually back off.
Both of Royal's solo laners are getting pushed on a little bit. We saw Cool nearly take down Godlike because Godlike has no magic resistance, and that's actually going to be a problem considering Cool picked up that triple kill in early DFG. And then White was trying to split push against OMG's other solo laner Going, and immediately had to just get out of there with his Ghost. That's not good for Royal overall, knowing that they kind of had a bit of a split push strategy planned, and that it's already getting countered is a bad thing. Whites is actually transitioning potentially early off of this build. He had a very early Hextech Revolver, and if he was truly a split push Vladimir, he would have built the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith very early on. But the fact that he has not built that yet, and he may be going towards his Zanya's Hourglass, could just be Royal saying, yeah, we cannot split push anymore. Let's go team fight with this.
Speaking of team fights, yeah, Cool gonna go into this one. Big damage on towards Tabe, who's less than half HP right now. Going's gonna come in from the side. Godlike trying to tank up the front. Here is Going. Gets the stun onto two of them. Godlike going low. Lee Sin dives to the back. He managed to live from that one, but the rest of the team might not be so lucky. Tabe going low. There is the charm landing onto Uzi. He cleanses out of it straight away, and OMG can't quite find their way in.
Another fight with everyone getting quite low. Big Pomelo and Godlike nearly died in that one. These teams are going to team up because they do it very frequently. It's amazing this game is only 6 kills to 4, and honestly, I think one of the big reasons Royal cannot chase on for these kills is they have generally low crowd control in their composition. They don't have a true mid laner right now. Vladimir and Renekton are both kind of side laners as far as team fights are concerned, and they don't have the traditional lockdown or assassination that we're used to seeing here at the World Championships, which is allowing OMG to disengage from a lot of these fights.
And the Royal getting bored there. That turret was still up, just deciding to tank it up, and that puts them 3-1 ahead in terms of turret kills at this point. They still hold as well a 2,000 gold lead. Let's have a look down the items once again, because the AD carries have taken their first big step with a Bloodthirster coming for Uzi and the Trinity Force on the other side for San.
Absolutely. So no surprises with San's build. Trinity Force is the Corki pick. The only bit of a curveball is the Berserker Greaves instead of Sorcerer Shoes, because Corki does more magic damage than physical damage in team fights. But instead he's going for the attack speed itemization. We look at Uzi as well. He's doing a bit of a give or take here. He has not went the full Bloodthirster Last Whisper build. He's got a Zeal sprinkled in there because, again, he is relying on his auto attacks.
Oh, look at this. Jax diving straight in on towards Uzi. Gonna sidestep the Grasping Roots, but will he be able to get away from it? Going down to half of HP, and he flashes away there. Uzi now in a lot of trouble. Going gonna chase him down. He's trying to heal up. There's the net coming out. He's still running, but not for long. There's the jump in. Going gets one. And on the other side, on the tower, Lovely picked up Tabe as well.
Yeah, and what's Royal going to do about this? Because OMG just completely committed to their bottom lane while the rest of Royal was not there. They have their side laners in strange places right now. Vladimir is in mid lane, Renekton is going top, and Lucky cannot stay there for his buff.
Oh, he's actually going to manage to get away from that one. He's still trying to hold out here for this red buff. It's going very low, but Red is going to be picked up there. Meanwhile, Lucky down, getting caught out from the backside. Cool comes around, catches him off guard. That will be another one for OMG. Meanwhile, the most satisfying sound in the game is that Jax hammering away on the inner turret in the bottom lane.
Whites isn't happy about that either. He completely commits once again to OMG, and let's see if he can chase this time. Vladimir, no crowd control.
Going very low here, Going. Can he get up into the push in time? Yes, the Zonya's used by Whites as well. Lovely coming around the side, doesn't go in as he spots Godlike. Good call.
So before any of this invading happened, OMG had gained control of Royal's red buff and the jungle surrounding it, and Royal was refusing to accept that. That's the reason that they got dove on, that's the reason that they got hurt trying to go in and contest for red, because OMG had complete eyes on them and outnumbered them. Royal couldn't fight in that area, but they did anyway, and it just gave OMG exactly what they wanted.
So, Dragon time for OMG. Are they going to be able to finish this one off? There's no one around there, and that will be a pickup for OMG. Nicely taken there as well. 31,500 to 29 right now, building up that lead very nicely.
And this is where Royal really has to start worrying about the lead, because they were actually up 2,000 gold a couple minutes ago, and OMG was already the one seeming to come out on top in team fights. And now that OMG has actually came out on top significantly in a skirmish, what's going to happen the next time a big team fight happens? And knowing Royal versus OMG, the next team fight is going to happen. It's going to happen fairly shortly as well. Seeing that Cool has his DFG and that Godlike just has that Negatron cloak, I'm wondering if OMG can just evaporate Royal's tank line before the fight and then roll on through with the rest of their damage. It's very dangerous right now for Royal, and they almost have to be afraid to take a 5v5 fight.
Slowing down here somewhat for what is guaranteed to be just a little bit of time, as both teams actually fairly close in proximity there on the top side of the river. We'll see if someone ends up getting caught out. We can see Lucky there just dealing with the plants that Big Pomelo has put down. All those wards there. Now Godlike and Lovelin having a bit of a chat up here at the top side of the river. Lovelin just trying to bully him out of position there.
Yeah, Lovelin is definitely a very scary man right now. 404 on Lee Sin. It's not because he has damage on him, it's because of the vision he provides and his ability to reposition people in team fights. Going as well is going to be a big problem. His Trinity Force is not even completed yet, and he's already destroying anyone on Royal in a 1v1 engagement.
Yeah, they can't stand and fight with him. We saw Godlike there just walking away from that scenario. There's a ward down in this brush, which Royal